My dear friends, I'd like this evening to extend a special welcome to the Catholic Lawyers Association and their guests who have come here to St. Andrew Cathedral to celebrate this Mass in honor of the Holy Spirit that we know as the Red Mass. We're especially honored this evening to have Justice Samuel Alito, the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, to spend the evening with us and to lead the renewal of the lawyer's oath of office prior to the conclusion of this celebration. For all visitors here today, whatever your personal faith heritage might be, I am pleased that you have all taken the time and chosen to take the time to pause and to pray with us and for all your colleagues in the legal world. The responsibility you exercise in this community is great, and it is awesome in the exercise of justice that is called to the very justice of God and the laws of our land. The exercise of justice has always managed to be complex and exceedingly intricate in every human society, including our own. In these remarks today, I want briefly to reflect on the woman crippled by the Spirit. For 18 years, she was bent over and completely incapable of standing erect. Her vision was limited to what was around her and in front of her. She could not see beyond what she was able to as she was bowed down. And I have made a choice tonight not to get involved in the risky discussion of the relationship of law and compassion, justice and mercy that the synagogue leaders in with Jesus following the cure of the crippled woman. That is a minefield that I have chosen not to enter. I've chosen rather to say simply what the Scriptures tell us, to stand tall and erect, and to allow God to touch her lives as he did the woman in the Gospel. Jesus says to her, "Woman, you are set free of your infirmity." And he laid his hands on her, and she at once stood up straight and glorified God. The Scriptures do not tell us the nature of her illness. She was simply crippled by a spirit for 18 years. Was it physical? Was it emotional? We really don't know that from the Scriptures. But the experience of the crippled woman is one that asks us to reflect on how tall we stand and what it is that cripples us in our own lives. And certainly there are elements in our society that cripple us in many ways and prevent us from seeing the greatness and the grandeur of our God. There is the economy, the stock market that is so much in the minds of many people today. There's the violence and crime in our cities that so much touches our lives and neighborhoods. There's the unemployment issues, and there are all sorts of issues that you face in the legal world that are involved with issues of technology and drugs and white-collar crime. And these can tend to cripple us and prevent us from standing erect and see the presence of God among us as we reflect and can sometimes allow ourselves to be bogged down by those realities as real as they are. And in our own personal lives, there are many elements as well that can keep us from recognizing and standing tall and erect and seeing the glory and the grandeur of our God. There's that self-centeredness that sometimes we engage in as we reflect on how important we are in whatever the role that we may happen to be. And sometimes there can be the failure to recognize a transcendent God. These and many other personal issues can cripple us and prevent us from standing tall in the work that we must do and seeing the presence of God all around us. As I reflected on this business of standing tall, I reflected on a funeral I had some time ago for one of my cousins, and he was a very tall man. And I recall at the funeral saying that he stood tall among us, and he really did that by the quality and the witness of his life. And no matter what was going on in the context of the family, he was always able to see beyond that and to see God active and present in the lives and the events of those things around us. By allowing the hand of God to touch us, we can stand up straight and be tall. we can see beyond ourselves and our own self-interests, our societal problems, and glorify God for his loving us and choosing us to be his own. In standing tall, we see what we have not seen, hear what we have not heard, and speak in ways that we could never imagine. And it is in that context that the justice of God can be done among us.